Hello everyone. So I'm recording this video at exactly 11:39 a.m. and I plan on going to bed at 12:30 a.m. And the reason why is because tomorrow I go to a doctor's appointment at 9:10 a.m. so I can get a physical done to confirm that I am indeed well enough to donate my blood plasma. So this process is going to reportedly, based on the phone call that I had with the scheduler, take about 20 minutes, and it's going to take about 19 to 21 minutes to drive there. So it's going to take a while to drive there. It's probably going to take, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes to park, then check in, and then wait, and then 20 minutes to like get accepted. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I'm pretty sure they're really stringent when it comes to their time because doctors' times are very valuable because, they have patients they need to tend to. So I would imagine that it probably would be exactly on the dot and the doctor would take as much time as they need to verify my current state of health. So this is actually something I know I should have been doing a while back. It's kind of hilarious how a plasma donation kind of spurred me on to even doing this in the first place. If it weren't for me answering, unsure about the whole heart question on my document, which I was answering very truthfully, by the way, then I probably would have never been directed to do this. So, in a way, perhaps it is a divine appointment set up by God and the universe to uh, get me in a spot that I need to be at. Because at the end of the day, health is priceless compared to everything else. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. But anywho, I guess we could talk about my day off today. So today I woke up at around 11:30 a.m. And when I got up, I used the restroom, I drank some water, and I was listening to a video from a new YouTube channel I've never heard of, and I didn't even bother checking the name of the channel. The only reason why I clicked on it was because why is bottom of the barrel gaming writing so poor? And it was basically this guy who looked to be in his mid 20s, talking about how even though there are genuinely exceptional video game stories that have been made, and he brings examples like God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 as the shining beacons of pure storytelling and video game bliss. He talks about how the unregulated nature of gaming can cause extremely poor dialogue and poorly thought out writing to sneak through the cracks and affect certain games, because certain studios they don't really care about the story. They really just care about, okay, how do we get the character from point A to B in a way that gives them an excuse to do fun things and just to enjoy the gameplay. And a lot of the time, that's how a lot of stories feel. They just feel like excuses to have a reason to play the game. Um, so he brought up two examples. One was a game called Monster Hunter Wilds, and basically he said that the dialogue comes across as like an alien who paid like a 1 hour visit to Earth and then told his other alien friend who'd never been to Earth about his basic, very base level view of what he understands about human interaction to him. And then that alien decided to write a script, which is ultimately what the human interaction in Monster Hunter Wilds feels like. Like the guy describes, "Ooh, yeah, these characters, just the way they talk and express themselves is so unnatural, so robotic, so weird that it just doesn't come off as believable or thoughtfully presented at all. So I just thought that was a really interesting and insightful little look into that game's presentation. And then after that, he talked about another example, and like you said, so it doesn't look like I'm like, dogging exclusively on the East. I am also going to talk about the West, and I'm using an example in the form of Dragon Age Vanguard, which, yeah, I remember the controversy surrounding that game when it came out. Like, people are talking about how it like ruined the series, how everyone in the game felt like they were being like written by like a millennial therapist who wanted everybody to be buddy buddy and no one to be angry or vile or have reasons for not liking each other. Basically just to overly sand off all of the edges of every single character so everyone gets along in a very unrealistic and unbelievable manner. In real life, a lot of people have like biases and the preconceived notions about what they believe an individual is like, and then you have to challenge their preconceived notions and beliefs by, you know, proving yourself and showing that you're willing to develop and change. So they'll be like, "Oh, well, you're not what I thought you were. So, well, I guess you are really working hard to be a better version of yourself." And yeah, the problem with the writing that the guy described in Dragon Age, the Vanguard, was that the characters all just come across as like therapists to each other. Like, well, you may have not done a great job, but that's okay because at the end of the day, you're a great person and you were probably just having a bad day. And I hope you do well next time. It's the kind of storytelling that just feels extremely saccharine, overly sweet, and lacking in true like understanding of the diverse points of view that each individual human being has. Um, you know, and yeah, that was a huge problem with a lot of like writing throughout the early 2020s. Like it just comes off as like it feels like a PR agent was in the writer's room at all times, like breathing down the writer's like neck, making sure that every single character was supportive and not mean or vile at all, so they would have as little of a chance of controversy as possible. But the thing is, you need drama in order to make a story interesting. You need that contrast. If you don't have contrast in a story, then it's as interesting as unbuttered, untoasted white bread. It's like, I mean, I can consume it. It tastes very bland, but technically I'm full now. It's the equivalent of that. And yeah, the guy did a really good job explaining his points. And yeah, I really did enjoy that video. I thought it was really good. So after that, when I was done watching, I decided to go ahead and start working on a brand new storyboard because I got a call from my mom after watching the Veilguard video, and as I was watching another video where it was YMS reacts, where he was talking about his opinions of that Coyote versus Acme movie, which is when I got the call and my mom let me know, hey, we got to finish that ant video. Let's do it. I'm like, all right, okay, I'll do some storyboards. So I immediately got my sketchbook. I got a cup of coffee. I filled that coffee with creamer, and I just immediately got started on this storyboard. And I was listening to the recording. Basically, what was happening was there was like this wedding where the female ant queen was going up in the sky and like with her ant king, and they were like in this like ballroom area, and there was like a bunch of ants dancing around them, and like the original idea my mom had was to do it exactly how ants in real life do it, where like after the male, um, you know, gives their uh, after the male and the female are together, the male ant immediately dies, and then the female goes into her nest or her throne room and starts creating babies afterwards. And so I thought, how do I do this in the least, graphic, uh, safe way possible? And I thought, oh, I know. They'll just kiss, and then it's like a kiss of death, and then the male ant dies, and he falls on the ground dead, and all the people look down, and then they like, you know, it's like taken in by like a nurse. But then we showed we I storyboarded, I generated the frames, I then generated the footage, and I showed my mom, and we were trying to edit it to get it like to be a good like pace. But then we showed it to my youngest sister, and she didn't like that idea because she felt like it was too traumatizing, because she felt like, oh, this is a really cartoony looking video, and it's supposed to it looks like something that's supposed to be seen by children, and the look of it, something that's supposed to be seen by children, having something this scary and traumatizing of like a male ant falling from the sky and dying would just be too intense um, for a kid to see by happenstance. So she suggested that perhaps instead we take the footage and well, what do we do? Well, we reinterpret it. And so my mom had the idea of when they go up in the sky, they kiss, and then like it blasts a firework, and then we immediately fade to the queen sitting on her throne and like leading the ants. And we generated that, and that came out much better, more digestible. It kind of implies that like, something happens, but without being explicit, and very artful and tasteful, and yeah, that's good. So when we were done with that, we decided to. My mom needed to leave for work, and then I decided. Oh yeah, and before she left, she made like a. And as we were making the video, she made like a toasted turkey sandwich with cheese for me and her, and we had a bag of chips and some frescas, and we drank that. It was really good. And we worked on that, and then she left. I decided to listen to this video that was like an hour and 15 minutes long about this guy who was covering the missing scientists and their exact background and what was going on with them. And I was hoping I would gain some new information, some new insights into it. Um, um, and as I was listening to it, I decided to make some Toll House cookies because I was suddenly in the mood for cookies. But I realized that I did not want to spend a long time making the cookies. I was really impatient today. I wanted the cookies now. So instead, normally I brown the butter and then I chill the butter in the freezer for like an hour before mixing it back in. And then, of course, grinding up some coffee grounds and putting that in with the cookie. Instead of that, I just simply, beat the butter with the sugar until it was fluffy, and then mix the egg, the extract, mix that in, and then the chocolate chips. And I actually took the Toll House recipe on the Toll House chocolate chip packaging, and I split it in half so it wouldn't be too much cookie dough. And then after that, I ended up mixing some walnuts in there. So that was the one, thing to give it some character. And then I preheated the oven for 350 degrees originally. Then I bumped it to 75 when I read the instructions, and it was 375. I got a tablespoon. I scooped out these two tablespoon sized blobs, put them on of cookie dough, put them on the baking sheet, one lined with parchment paper, popped them in, heated them for 9 minutes, took them out, and then after they cooled for 2 minutes, transferred them on a cooling rack. My mom grabbed one immediately. Our family friend grabbed one. My sister grabbed one. I grabbed one, and we both agreed it was really good. I think that the brown butter ones are better personally, and it's because I feel like the brown butter ones just had a much more richer and deeper flavor and texture. These ones were still really good, but they definitely were a bit more bland and less uh, explosive with depthful flavor as the brown butter cookie was. So that's something to keep in mind for next time. Gives me like consideration if I wanted to go back and make that brown butter cookie again. I even made a silly little AI generated video where I took a picture of the cookies. I took a picture of my mom holding a cookie with her highlighted in the background, and then the cookie highlight in the foreground with like the bokeh depth of field technique. When I say highlighted, that's what I mean. So one was in focus, one was out of focus. So, and then I took those 3 pictures, I put them into Grok's video generator. I scribed that I wanted the cookies to be like UFOs and float over to my mom, who would grab one, and the little alien would come out from like a latch in the cookie and say hi, and then my mom would wave hi at the alien. And ended up generating and actually came out pretty decently. The only problem was that the alien was looking at the camera instead of looking at my mom, so that was kind of annoying. It was a cute, cartoony, like big bug-eyed alien, green skin with big old eyes. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. My mom thought it was cool. Our family friend thought it was cool. My sister thought it was cool. Then I suggested, hey, you guys, I've been listening to this video while I was making the cookies. Wanna watch it? Maybe we could learn some new things about the science. They were like, all right. So we sat down, we watched this video. My mom was not having it. She was not into it. I was hoping like, ooh, maybe we'd learn more, but she was kind of just making observations of each of the people in the video and basically making fun of them, which honestly added some entertainment value to it. Like, those old like commentary tracks they had on like DVD extras back in the day? Well, I think my mom should do commentary tracks for like movies or documentaries or whatever. And so we can hear her make fun of like certain things. Probably wouldn't be good in terms of like being nice, but in terms of being hilarious, it would be pretty funny, for sure. But anywho, after we were done sitting through that, and anything new I learned, that Amy Eskridge got some more injuries other than her hands before her untimely demise. I learned that there was confirmation from peers of a Chinese scientist that was studying anti-gravity that there was no way she could have been harmed on the campus as stated in her obituary, or some news outlets, because the speed limit was 25 miles per hour, and there's no way like person could get, hit if they know where to look or how to avoid, obstacles. So, it seems like there's some foul play. Then there was like a couple who were scientists who had a crazy psycho like take them out, like, and it was all captured with like police body cams. They were trying to save them. So, some of them I think are coincidence, but some of them are too similar to each other. Like the scientists that just straight up disappear by leaving their equipment, have it like shut off, and then they walk off in a direction never to be seen from again. Like those stories, I'm like, that's too coincidental and too similar for it to feel like a coincidence. I think that the ones that go missing, that leave their things behind and just go off in the wilderness, there might be something to that. The ones that die, though, some of them, sure, like the guy in the Tesla truck recently, both times with two separate scientists in Tesla trucks, and then like the Amy Eskridge, especially. Like those are times where I'm like, okay, yeah, that definitely seems like there's something there, and also the Chinese lady scientist who um, was apparently taken by a car, but survived, but ended up getting impaired and suffered from dementia later, sadly dying in 2022 or 21. I recently watched it, so it's not firmly locked in. Apologies. But yeah, some pretty interesting. I guess the thing was that the guy who made the video helped to give a little more context and a little more detail that made the story seem more interesting, I suppose. But yeah, and they tried doing like a Morgan and Morgan like advertising rap, and me and my sister made fun of him, saying like, yeah, he's trying to start his rap career with doing commercials, thinking he's the hot stuff, but it's probably the most skipped video part of the video. It's like, yeah, finally my rap career, and he checks to see like if anyone watched it, and it's the most skipped part, and he's like, oh, I guess I'm not the rap god I thought I was. So yeah, pretty funny. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it when it comes to that. Then our family friend made sliders with grilled onions and cheese on top with fresh beef patties on brioche mini buns. My sister was not having any, but me and my mom and our family friend had them. I ate two and a half. Our family friend ate one and a half. She didn't want to finish one of them, so she gave that other half to me, and my mom ate two. Um, and I calculated how much each burger would approximately cost. It was pretty much like around $1 per burger, which great deal. Definitely makes you want to eat at your house a lot more, especially the way prices are these days. And that reminds me, right before I made the cookies, I was doing some research on my phone for like electric scooters and then electric bikes, which was spurred on by like, wait a minute, how come we don't have solar powered cars that charges your car drives? Apparently, the reason why is because solar panel cars don't absorb enough energy to have continuous energy output to carry a car for miles. However, there is new material that is being made that's like 34% like efficient panels for like a certain car, and that like can go 40 miles on a single solar powered charge. And like this car is like planning on being sold in the near future, but I was like, wow, that sounds great. How much is it? And the cheapest variant of this is 20,000, and it's not even out in the market yet. It's just a proposed price for a proposed vehicle, but it's currently not available. Um, so I'm like, well, first off, I don't have that kind of money, and second off, um, uh, it's not available. So I was like, okay, well, what's a good second option? Because I was like, what if I get a vehicle that doesn't really cost that much in terms of needing energy to be charged, and where I can ride it for work and back, and I only use my car for like doing grocery like pickups or um, driving in the rain or the heat or things like that. So I looked up either like a scooter or a bike. Scooter at first sounded interesting. I was like, ooh, oh, maybe I could take a scooter to work that's like electric and drive all the way to work with that. But then I looked up how much like one that's actually decent quality costs, and like goes like 28 miles an hour. It's like I think like from what I remember, like $550, which I mean overall, I mean that's not terrible, but It's definitely something I'd have to budget around for sure if I wanted to get it. Um, and then the other time is this bike. Yeah, electric bike that I found out. There are apparently electric bikes that go like 80 miles an hour, which I'm like, oh man, that doesn't seem very safe. I hope like controlling the speed that it goes is really, you know, easy to do so I don't end up like dying and all that good stuff. And the cheapest like one I found that went 80 miles an hour was like basically like currently $750. And I thought, that might be a good idea. But then again, where would I even park it? Like, is there a place you could park like a bike that expensive to where you would like not have to worry about like it getting stolen or hacked into or anything like that? Like, because that's always a possibility. I mean, you'd wish it wasn't, but you have to consider that. I don't think there is like a place to like put your bicycle like at my work, or I'd have to ask. I mean, either way, um, the main reason I would want even a vehicle like that is like basically cost saving measures. Gas gets expensive. If I have something where I just plug it in for a day and I get a full week's charge and I just go back and forth from work every single day with it, and I only use my car for bigger trips or things of that nature, then I would honestly genuinely be a really cool way of doing um, doing price saving measures. I think for sure, or cost saving, not price. Sorry, but yeah, that was something I was thinking about for sure. I even mentioned to my sisters like, "Ooh, well, maybe we could like do something like that. That might be something worth doing." But yeah, I don't know, just an idea. Anywho, gone long enough about that. We enjoyed our burgers. After that, I had a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar with mine. Um, our family friend had zero sugar, and my mom had just water. Then we hung out. Our family friend read the Bible to my mom, who was like acting really silly and like drawing silly pictures on like a envelope and showing them to me, and and then I was transferring photos and videos from my phone's onboard storage to a external solid state drive, so that way I could free up space on my phone. Um, and because it was solid state and used a high speed SSD, it took like a really short time, less than like 10 minutes. Um, yeah, when I was done, I just kind of sat there and like listened, and yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, after that, our family friend went to their room to watch TV. Me and my mom sat next to each other working on that ant video. My sister went to hang out with her friends, and so yeah, we spent quite a while working on the video. We like did like you know different scenes with like nurses and um, soldiers and farmers and like a dancing skeleton and the queen ant in armor um and then like the lady ant singer like finishing off the song, and like that we reused footage of like the lady army ants doing dances together, and we kind of combined it all and exported what we had just to see how it would run, and overall it looks pretty interesting, I would say. um am I personally satisfied with it? Kind of, but there are a few kinks that I think we should work out before we are ready to publish it. But overall, it's coming along pretty decently. Um, yeah, and then my mom went to a room after we were done working on it. I took I took my vitamins. I even took some melatonin to help me go to sleep earlier tonight. And then I took a shower. I put on deodorant, I put on moisture cream, I brushed my teeth, and then I decided to record this update video. So that's pretty much the day in a nutshell. Tomorrow, I'm gonna need to wake up at least at 8 o'clock, but I prefer 7:30. I like having a good like hour-long buffer before going on a good, decently long trip. I don't want to like wake up and then immediately be in my car and drive off. That would be disorienting and annoying. Like having an hour for me to wake up would just be really good. I'm gonna try to stay away from food though, because I want like my body to just be as plain Jane and straight to the point as possible for my doctor to evaluate what's going on with me, and then we'll see what happens. I guess. Hoping nothing's wrong. My blood was checked; it was fine. My blood pressure was checked; it was fine. On my last plasma donation visit. Um, I guess I just had my little voice in my head say, "Well, sometimes when you eat salty foods, you feel like your heart gets a little pinched and you need to breathe, and then like it goes away. So you should probably bring that up." And I mean, at one sense, I'm like, "Oh man, now I got to go through all this." But on the other end, it's good to know what's going on with your body, I suppose. So, or no, I suppose like it's good to know what's going on with your body. So yeah, I'm gonna publish this video. I'm gonna go to bed. The time is 12:11 a.m. We're doing great on time. We've got a good like 19 minutes left before going to sleep. So incredible. Good night, everybody. Have sweet dreams. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, or a good day if you're watching this during the day. Bye, everybody. Take care. Sayonara.